Alright boys, so Fana has just dropped on Global, and she's a character I use a lot on Chaos. So today we're going to break down everything you know about the character. Obviously on the timeline right now, you can jump cut to what part you want to. And of course, if this video does help you out, then help me out by leaving a like. And of course, if you're new, subscribe. We just hit 2k subs, so boys, I appreciate all the support. Let's jump into the most important thing, and that's her abilities. Okay, so the most important thing you need to realize about Fana is that she does have a passive to where if you do actually have 4 HP, 100% HP, not 99, but 100% HP, you are going to deal an extra 50% damage. And that is where she kind of gets a bit tricky to play around with, because you're kind of constantly keeping that 100%. And she can heal herself, but once again, when we get to all the team recommendations, you kind of want to use someone like SR Charmy in gear farming, or if you're in PvP, you want to bring someone like Summoner well. But we did a breakdown yesterday's video talking about you'd rather not really use them in PvP, because you'd rather just build up towards a Summoner well team rather than support Fana. To be fair, I've used in the past, and she is still a pretty fun character. So the first skill, and this is the annoying part, you have an 8% chance to apply a burn, only 80, so that means you have 20% chance for the character not really to work, because if you don't apply a burn, then this AoE skill will not actually lifesteal. It only lifesteals if one character, just one, has a burn effect, because then you will actually lifesteal the damage that you deal. And this is a 3-turn cooldown, so dealing like 100k and then lifestealing 50k can make you max HP, but then again, it comes down to the fact that you have to get RNG if the bosses don't attack you, or if someone on another team don't attack you either. Her ultimate is actually pretty good. AB ultimate is so good for when you're farming, but it's going to increase the all attack power, or more importantly, your magic attack by 40%. However, it only applies after the ultimate is finished. So if you watch the ultimate right here, beautiful ultimate by the way, I love the salamander on her arm. Big damage, and then boom, you see right now she is going to get the buff, so it doesn't apply beforehand. So the tricky part about this Fana is to use the ultimate to apply the burn and then use the AoE skill, and it's very hard to do that in 3 turns without taking a smidge of damage. So that's where she's kind of tricky in PvP. Her enhanced passive, so when you do get to 2-star plus, it is favorable damage, so you are going to deal more damage towards red characters, which sure is great in PvP, but more or less important in PvE, which is why this character really feels like a natural PvE farmer and not really meant to be used too much in PvP. We went through her actual pass already, but yes, you can see when she is 100% or higher, it is going to give you 50% damage increase. Really wish she was like 80%, so you could take a smidge of damage, but unfortunately it isn't. Her skill page is by far probably the best skill page in the game until we do get Julius on Christmas Eve, which literally just leaked right now, which all it does do is have a 65% chance to apply a burn to all the enemies when you do use that AoE skill, so you have more ways of applying burn in case that single target unit that you did apply burn to somehow just died. But more importantly is that her actual skill page that can apply to other characters that are attackers will get a 10% all attack increase, which is yeah, very, very good. Julius, by the way, who has the best skill page in the game, does do that the exact same on level 1, but the difference is at level 5, when this does get maxed out, when you do dupe it out, can get upwards to 20%, where Julius does get upwards to obviously 25%. So Julius is just a little bit better, but regardless, if you're using Julius, you'd rather have a Julius with his skill page. Okay, so when it comes to gear and a character, you can see straight away that she is actually based on magic attack. So you're going to make sure when you buff her up and you use gear for her, you go full magic attack. Now, the one I like to use for PvE farming is the one you get for free. So I do believe you get this for free for doing really well in Guild Wars when that does come out. And you can see it right there. If I go towards the English one, it'll be easier. You can see when you do actually have the 2 sets on, when you do defeat an enemy, which you should be doing a lot of that because she is the main DPS, she's going to heal 10% of her max HP. This can be enough to where you can actually get max HP. If you defeat 4 enemies in 1 turn, you're essentially healing 40% of your max HP back to where in the next phase, you then have max HP and you're now dealing maximum damage without actually healing with that AoE skill or without even healing up with Charmy. So this is a set I probably recommend using. In terms of gear, what you want to do more importantly is just apply the main stat buff on. You don't really care too much about the stats early on, but when it comes to just making a character good and you're obviously doing a lot of damage, you want to focus on literally just applying the main stats towards the character. But yeah, I mean right now I don't have the best one on because I only have the basic attack one, but if you do get the gold increase one, which is this set right here where you do actually get 7% more magic and attack, that is by far the better one. Obviously, if you don't get the set in Guild Wars or you don't get the right rolls and you don't get magic attack, I don't believe it's guaranteed, but I did get lucky and got magic attack, then the next best one is by far the crit rate. Once again, you're trying to clear through PvE as much as possible, so getting the extra bit of crit rate, and Fana does crit a few times and does do a lot of damage. This will make so that AoE damage does a lot more and makes it easier and also faster to clear through floor 15. Okay, so when it comes to a skill pages, what do you want to apply? This one is pretty simple. You want to apply her own skill page because this is by far the best skill page we have in the game right now. And not only that, it's also going to buff her tier 2 skill. And like I said early on, you can get Julia's skill page that does the exact same thing, but you are going to miss out on that tier 2 skill being buffed up here. This skill page, which is free, is once again going to do the exact same passive. However, you're going to miss out on that tier 2 buff, which once again is fine. She is the big DPS, so you want to apply that onto her. Leo's skill page is another good one as well. Once again, the main goal of Fana and what you're trying to do with Fana is to keep her at max HP. So to have this skill page, which is going to give you 50% max HP, proportionate towards your current HP, max at 50%. That means if you are at max HP, you are going to have 50% all attack buff, which is what you want to do with Fana anyway. So you're getting best of both worlds here. You can even justify using this one over her actual current skill page if you have SR Charmy on the team. Now, obviously, if you don't have the ones we just named off, then this is probably the next best one we did get for free, which is going to give you more crit chance. Not the best, Fana doesn't really want that, but once again, anything will be better than having nothing. If you max out this skill page, you can get 10% all attack, which is the exact same of the black frame we just showed early on. However, if you are using 2 DPSs like right now, I'll probably be using Blue Yami and also Fana, so you want to have both of them with 10% attack power here. So this could be a good one to max out, and one you can easily max out since it is only a rare one. Alright, so for Fana's skills to max out, it's a pretty simple one because simply she just gets more damage per actual level. It doesn't really change the multiplier of any effects. So maxing out this AoE ability is going to be a lot better just because that will be your big damage dealing skill. So make sure to max that one out. I'll probably say first. And of course the ultimate, once again, it's going to deal more damage. It doesn't change the multipliers, so I'd say by far max at the AoE ones first. And then maybe go towards the actual tier 1 skill because this will still be useful to do some damage. But I wouldn't max it out completely. Maybe if she is your best farmer for PvE content, you might want to max out anyway just to make things a bit more consistent. But the actual combined attack, yeah, I wouldn't touch. I wouldn't bother with it. For the accessories, it kind of comes down to what the best ones you have. So normally I just go towards whatever I can apply to it. But I guess a bit of defense, since we're not really using any defense, will be a bit better. Especially in PvP, you probably go towards more defense. But if not, maybe a bit more crit chance or crit damage will be probably the next best thing to go towards. Once again, getting accessories right now in global is going to be very, very hard. So I would more or less apply the best ones that will at least benefit her in some way. Okay, so the best team setup for Fana. Honestly, right now, this is the one I use because I don't actually have SR Charmy. But honestly, with SR Charmy being a constant good healer and one that can instantly max out Fana to max HP, this actually might be the best go-to team. Also, as well, Charmy on a combined attack does increase the magic by level 4 and increases SP as well, which would be a perfect combo character to use with obviously Fana. Getting more magic attack means she can then do more damage with her tier 1, tier 2 skill and also the ultimate. This is by far, I think, going to be the best team here. Once again, you get the gimmick here, Lotus and obviously Mars is just a go-to combo. Now, of course, that does mean you have to pair Mars and Lotus together, which means you're going to lose the stun effect, which is still kind of fine because lowering the attack anyway is still pretty good. But I do know some people may not actually have Charmy, and at that point, well, putting in Soul for a substitute to get 2 tanks is going to be the best thing, but then you're going to miss out on the fact that Fana has to heal herself. But once Summoning World does come out in about a week's time, basically, this will be the team I'll probably end up using, unless you don't have Mars, and at that point, you're probably doing this effect too. So, this is by far the best team for PvE. Once again, it kind of comes down to who you have. But if I did have every character in the game, this is what I will be using because the Charmy and Fana combo is just too good to miss up on. Okay, so we got to remember when you go into what PvE, if she loses 1% of HP, she's going to lose 50% damage increase. So when you go into PP, you want to try and find people that, you know, aren't going to instantly start first and basically outspeed all your characters. Alright, so the 2 people you don't want to find will be William and Volters. These 2 will have AoE ultimates that they always use turn 1 and make it so you do drop below 100% HP. So I would say try and avoid these 2 if you are going full on Fana DPS combo. Okay, so in terms of combos, I would use day 1 with her. I'll use something like this, for example. Mars and Lotus are just going to be a good combo. Okay, so my best partner with Fana is going to be Valtos. Valtos, if you don't know what he does do, he can increase your magic attack, which means more damage for obviously Fana, but also as well, his actual ultimate is going to increase your mobility by 20%, meaning you can basically get all your abilities off first turn 1 before the enemy team can even attack, depending on who you do go up against, of course. So definitely, if you plan to use Fana, max out your Valtos because he is going to be basically the best partner with her. Now, of course, this is the standard combo. Mars and Lotus are going to be a good combo. Only if I'll probably do this combo, so you still get that stun with obviously Mars. Once Summoner Wall comes out, she is going to be Fana's almost best partner. That shield that she applies can make it so Fana can take almost no damage and constantly keep her at maximum HP. And sometimes I do rock a Reroll because you are going to get more crit chance and crit damage. He does buff up attack, which Fana doesn't really want, but honestly, it's still good enough sometimes to where she can still do a lot of damage, because I think I've done my most damage with Reroll just because you can get so much crit chance and crit damage. Alright, so I think these will probably be the best partners you can use on day 1 here. Radies is basically a substitute summoner well until we do get her, but his ultimate can apply a shield, which is once again going to keep obviously Fana at max HP, but once we do get summoner well, you obviously put her in. Finral can give you crit chance and crit damage, but buffs up attack. So if anything, you might want to use Sally over obviously Finral, but that's only going to buff up Fana, where Finral can buff up the whole team, which is sometimes better. Valtos, I once again believe, will be Fana's best partner, getting that magic attack, getting that stamina increase to where you can attack turn 1 guaranteed before the enemy team, so you need to have one turn where you have constant damage. It's going to be very, very good as well. And of course, if you want to, you can throw in a Mars just to be a good tank character, and of course Lotus to give you increased damage basically. So there's a few characters you can use right now, but these will be by far the best characters I would probably bring with her. Alright boys, that's going to wrap up today's video. Once again, Fana is such an amazing character to use in PvE and is my go-to blue whenever I do any content. Of course, right now, her being basically one of the first big damage magic dealers in the game, you kind of got to start working different characters like Valters, like Sally for example, that you typically wouldn't use to buff up someone like Licht, you know, Asta and Yami as well. So you do have to invest a bit more into her now, but that's kind of completely fine because, well, those characters that you got to level up will actually work well with Summoner well and other magic dealers that come out in the future. So boys, thank you for watching today's video. If it did help out, then once again, leave a like, and of course, if you have any comments down below about Fana, then do let me know. I'll try and answer them as well. So boys, thank you for watching, and yeah, peace.